Welcome to 2-Minute Listening. Learn English. Stay informed. Just 2 minutes a day. Today's story, More Than a Motto, the quiet power behind In God We Trust.
When you look at a U.S. coin or dollar bill, there's one phrase that always stands out. In God we trust. But have you ever wondered where it came from? The story begins in 1861, during the darkest days of the American Civil War. A humble pastor named Mark R. Watkinson from Pennsylvania was deeply concerned about the soul of the nation. He wrote a heartfelt letter to Secretary of the Treasury, Salmon P. Chase, urging him to include a recognition of God on America's currency. Moved by the request, Secretary Chase responded swiftly. He wrote to the director of the mint, saying, "No nation can be strong except in the strength of God. The trust of our people in God should be declared on our national coins." And so in 1864, the phrase, "In God we trust," first appeared on the 2-cent coin. But the story didn't end there. Nearly a century later, in 1956, with the world caught in the grip of the Cold War, American leaders sought to distinguish the United States from the atheistic ideologies of the time. Congress passed a law declaring "In God We Trust" as the official motto of the United States. And President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed it into law. The following year, in 1957, the phrase began appearing on paper currency as well. Over time, this simple line became more than a motto. It became a quiet promise, a reflection of the American spirit, not of power alone, but of purpose, not of wealth alone, but of wisdom, guided by something higher. In God We Trust has endured court challenges, cultural shifts, and political storms, and yet it remains, not as a command, but as a choice, a declaration of humility, of hope, of who we are at our best. Because the true strength of America does not lie in its armies or its economy, but in its faith, faith that gives wisdom, faith that gives compassion, faith that gives the courage to carry the burdens placed upon a free people. In God We Trust is not just ink on paper or metal on coins. It is a quiet heartbeat beneath the noise, a reminder that America's greatest power lies in trusting something greater than itself. In God we trust. That is the soul of a nation.